All right, thank you for staying with us. And here we go. We told you earlier, before the break, it's about conversation about the deepening of democracy and, of course, entrenching good governance and that duty, that responsibility, holding government accountable, people in power, everyone that has to do with the place of leadership in one capacity or the other, asking the right question so that we have the kind of nation that we are proud of. And there is a profession constitutionally backed up by the Grand to do that. That's the fourth estate of the RAM, the media, the journalists like us. And exactly that's what we do here every day. So, how much of that work are we doing, here at WSTV, at our sister station at Rave 91.7 FM, and of course, the media in the nation as well? We have with us today, I was sad, he's a very critical stakeholder in this business. He's here with us. He's the chairman, the chief executive officer of Felicia Daniels Communications, owners of the award-winning WSTV, and of course, Rave 91.7 FM is in the studio with us live, Dr. Femi Adefila. Good morning.
Good morning, Femi.
And congratulations to you as
Thank
well.
you so very much.
Rave is 9,
Good
WSTV is 2.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, but before we delve straight into it, we had you this time last year as well. Yeah, and of course, I'd like to ask you, in the spirit of the celebration, looking at where we started and where we are right now, how proud of yourself will you say you are this morning with the immense work you have put in these two stations?
Well, thank you so very much. I want to say to God be the glory for great things He has done. I want to thank God primarily for what He has done in the lives of Western Spring Television and of Rave 91.7 FM. I can't be prouder. Prouder because, again, this year, Western Spring Television, that is just 2 years old, won the best television station in Ocean from a credible and reputable organization like Nigeria Union of Journalists, which is a pool of professionals in journalism. So that makes me so proud and I feel fulfilled. Though, like I said, and I've said several times, it's a journey, it's not a destination. We are not there yet. We are on a journey. And by nature, I'm a very committed person. When I set my goals, I keep my eyes on the goals. We're on the journey to get to that place that will be described as the best television station in this climb.
Right.
3 days ago, I was watching Channels Television, and the chairman of Channels Group, Joe Momo, was somewhere where some people gathered to celebrate 30 years of Channels broadcast excellence. And I was like, oh, I tap into this grace. So we just began, we just started. It's a journey. And I know there will be issues, there will be turbulence, there will be storms, but once you are passionate about where you are going and you commit your ways unto the Lord, and I'm a very religious person, I believe we are going to get there. What do you want to achieve? You want to be able to say it as it is. You want to be the television of choice, the television that you prefer. We want to entertain, we want to educate, we want to inform. We want to ensure that whatever you hear on this on this platform is the authentic truth. You want to be known for breaking the news first in this climb. And we want to be known to parade the best of hands, the best of brains, the best of faces in television broadcasting in this ecosystem. Right. So that's the target. All right. So we are proud of where we are, how we started, and please don't despise the days of little beginning. We started little, but I think we are making progress consistently.
Right. And we'll get back to that. But this morning, and it's part of the conversation as well, the role of the media. I said it in my introductions, we're one of the few, professions backed up by the Constitution to do what we do, holding people accountable. And let me ask, from 1999, we'll talk about governance, a bit about politics and our role in that as well. It's not new. The immense work the media have been doing, the journalists, in entrenching democracy. Many of us fought, in fact, the all of the institution fought for the entrenchment of this democracy. Now, from 1999 till now, how will you now? We're not talking about the democracy of 1999. From that time till now, how will you rate the kind of work that the media have done in making sure things are done the right way? Holding governments, people in place of power accountable and, doing what they have to do. Because so many persons will say, maybe we're vibrant from 1999, and I'm talking about the old institution, till like maybe 2015. And from then, maybe the goalposts have been shifted. How will you rate the kind of work the media have been doing in this country from 1999 to 2024?
Well, thank you very much. It'd be unfair for us to discuss today without copious reference to our yesterday.
Right.
The Nigerian media has a story, has an history with the Nigerian state. The story is almost intertwined and interwoven. We fought for independence of this nation. The media was deployed hugely by the founding fathers, by the nationalists, in their quest to get independence for Nigeria. The Azikiwes of this world, the Awolowos of this world, Batmakolis of this world, they all founded newspaper, which was fashionable then. That was a strong platform to galvanize opinion. When you want to lead a movement, you need to have a platform to galvanize opinion. When opinions are galvanized, then you're on the same page. So the media is a veritable platform to galvanize opinion, an aggregate of opinion, and to move people. That's why politicians love radio and television. It is for the mass movement, it's a mass communication medium. You get my point? So for answering your question directly, from 1990, I think we have done so well. We have done very, very well. Because we have a story, we have an history. And we cannot dissociate ourselves from our past. You remember the Salisu Buhari story, Gate, We Tell magazine, so many stories. I think we have done so well at the fourth estate of the realm to fulfill our obligation as written in the Constitution. The framers of the Constitution in section 22 and 39 give us a definite responsibility to hold government accountable. And I think Nigerian media, we have done that. We have not shied away from that responsibility. And but for the media, democracy wouldn't be where we are today. We will have had a monarchical rule. You see, power is very, very sweet. Power corrupt. Absolute power corrupt. Absolutely. That is the means and that's the need for check and balances within the system, within the ecosystem. If you allow people to run unchecked, unhinged, like loose cannons, they will hold the nation down. When I was young, my father told me that if you make a dwarf the king in the city of the giant, that he has two options. It's either he grows up to meet the giant where they are, and that's a task. But the most tempting option would be to bring the giant down to his level. So you need somebody to check him, but hey, you don't do that. Even the British, I was reading something recently. Do you know, in 13th century, 1215 precisely, that's what we call Magna Carta rule. The Magna Carta, King John of Britain brought a taxation rule. And the baron, the merchants were against those rules. That was the very first time law was made to temperate the power of the king. To temperate the power of the king. Then the fourth estate of the realm appellation was given to us in the Parliament of the British. So the media has always been the conscience of the nation. We have always been the tool that we use to check government. So Nigerian media, we've done very well. I think we have done very well. We've done very well. And don't forget that we now have radio stations everywhere. Before 1999, Osun State had just one radio station and television station. And I was part of that television station at Ibokun, that radio station. If we didn't broadcast one day, there was no news for anybody in Osun State. It was that bad. But now, with about 18 radio stations in Osun State, television stations about 3 or 4, people have choices. And the information highway is full of materials. People now have choices, and information is live. You need information to live. So information is at the beck and call. People can see it. Information is everywhere. And that deepens democracy. What is democracy without freedom of speech? What is democracy without choices? What is democracy without freedom of expression? So democracy has really grown in leaps and bounds,
Right.
I believe, since 1999, because there is media. Because that was what the military really banned. You understand? They didn't want us to be because they knew the importance and the strategic nature of the media to check their SS and their decrees.
All right, Doctor.
Yeah.
We are going to talk about the extent of the freedom media has as of today.
Yeah.
But while you were speaking, you made mention of media being a tool. Now, there are people who believe that media is now a tool in the hands of those at the helm of affairs. That's why you have so many politicians now owning radio stations, owning media houses, because they want to control the narratives going out there. What do you say to that?
Yes, there will always be that attempt, that bold attempt by politicians to own media because they know the importance of it. You know what's happening in America? When Donald Trump was not happy with the independent nature of X, that was called what before? Twitter. He started Truth. And the first institution he attacked boldly was the media. It will always happen all over the world for politicians to try to not only hoodwink us, to arm twister. That was what I was looking for. But we have to hold our own and we have to believe in ourselves. I understand they've encroached largely, but most of these platforms that they established are dying. Because if you came into the media space purposely as a special purpose vehicle for a political end, that is a destination. When you get there, what do? You come out of the vehicle. The vehicle had outlived its usefulness in your political journey. So that's what happened to most radio stations. I was talking to a friend of mine in Ibadan. Last week I was in Ibadan. We are working on a radio station and television station. And they said, Femi, there are 23 radio stations up for sale. And we did a background check of the brains, the vision of this station. They were either entrepreneurs or politicians. So after using it for the purpose that it was designed for, they've ditched it.
They were not professionals.
They were not professionals. But the successful radio and television stations in Nigeria today, look at Channel Television. I'm proud of Channel Television. I'm so proud of that guy, John Momo, a core professional. That is his life. And that's why the station is flying high. Anywhere you are in the world, being in Russia, in America, every continent of the world, you watch Channel. And Channel is rated as the best television station in Nigeria with 1.4 billion viewership on YouTube. That's amazing. You go to, there's a station in Abeokuta owned by this guy who was working with Guardian, who was rusticated by Buhari. Doing so well. And some other radio and television station. I tell people, regardless of any assignment I have, this is the most important job to me. It's my life, it's what I enjoy, it's my passion. And I'm ready to sacrifice the fortune of this station at the altar of any appointment or any political patronage. This is my life. This is what I want to be. I built it with my blood, and I want to see it succeed and not leave me. So the truth of the matter is this: politicians will always try to use the media, but to what end? That's why I'm an apostle of the National Broadcasting Commission, making it a condition precedent for those who are prospecting for radio and television license to either be professionals themselves or have professionals on board. For instance, anybody, a businessman, can walk up to CAC today and have a communication limited company registered. And you can now use that to prospect for a radio license, because the condition is it must be communication related company, right? Or you can even have it Western Spring Media Limited, and every brain behind that enterprise has no cognitive experience whatsoever or certificate in communication. That's not good.
So, let me put in here. You do not think that the infiltration of these non-professionals into the media space is watering down the professionalism in the media space? Because these media outfits that, like you mentioned, the 24 up for sale in your state, when they want to bring on board their staff members, they do not look for professionalism. They just bring up anyone.
Yeah.
So far, you can speak well.
Yeah, that was exactly my point. That not only those who have these stations established, even the practitioners on the radio. I do say it that our profession is a non-linear profession. That means you don't need to have requisite training in mass communication. You can be a lawyer and do well in journalism. You can be a medical doctor. You can be an architect. You can be, what we appreciate first is the skill to deliver at the issue. But despite that, if you desire a career in journalism, you must go for training thereafter. You must train yourself thereafter. You train yourself to be skilled in the profession. So most often than not, those who establish radios and television stations without requisite experience, without cognate experience, without certificate in communication, they go ahead to even hire people who are non-professionals. So it's a case of the blind leading the blind. So what do you expect? But if you're a professional, what you look out for is professionalism in the person you want to hire. Is she a professional? Okay, is he a professional? She may not be certificated or e-certificated in the profession, but she has a cognate experience, or she's desirous to train herself to acquire the skills. There are rules to this game. There are rules, there are ethics, there are etiquette, there are modus operandi as applicable in every profession. You don't just buy a beautiful gown and get wig and go before a judge. You'll be jailed.
Yeah.
You don't just buy syringe, needles, and stethoscope and go to hospital. You're going to kill people. You don't just say, oh, I love to draw, and you become an architect. It's not going to happen. You don't just say, oh, I can mix a way at table and become a pharmacist. No, it doesn't happen like that. You got to go through training. You got to go to training. But people are taking advantage of the non-linear profession, non-linear nature of our profession to do all manner. That was why when I started my radio station, people call themselves freelance journalists, and they didn't like me.
Why?
Well, yeah, immediately we started test transmission, an avalanche of them came on board with all manner of proposals. We do this, we do that. They call themselves freelancers. And I was like, if I hire these people, then I've failed as a professional. There must be something different that I'm bringing on board as a professional. To God be the glory, I'm skilled and trained in this profession without sounding immodest. So I had zero tolerance for them ab initio, deliberately. So I hired my hands, developed my own content, but these people who are not professional, they don't even know what is called idealization process for content. They don't know about content. They just know, okay, I hear Kabiru on radio and he talks about Ibiayin law. Let him come on board and speak about Ibiayin law on my radio station. No, there are more to that. That's why we have caricatures of programs everywhere. The standard is low in some in some climes because because I'm not saying it's proliferation. No, it's non-adherence to the rules. Because we don't even have enough radio stations in Nigeria, if you ask me. That's the truth. Because we compare the number of radio stations in Nigeria to what we have in Ghana. We don't have as much. That's the truth. We don't have as much. How many? We have less than 700 something radio stations. Go to Ghana, go to other. You see, broadcast is a sector that contributes hugely to the GDP. And broadcast sector attracts the youth. So it employs a number of youth. So it beholds on government to make the environment, the ecosystem friendly and make the environment inviting so that we have as many television stations, radio stations, and
I would like to ask this question, taking it personal with you now before Femi comes back on board. What you saw years ago that made you go for mass communication instead of law, because I read your story.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you still see it in the media today?
Yes, I see. You see, I'm very thankful that I take that decision. I was just thinking yesterday night. I'm very thankful that I take that decision. But what you do and you enjoy, that gives you so much joy, is your life. When I'm coming here, I'm not going to work. I'm coming to a place of fun. I like to see you guys. I like to be here. I like the newsroom feel. I like the jokes. I like the banters. I like the spirit. I like the exchange of hot words. You understand? In the be together, our job's done. What I saw then, actually, when a friend of mine saw the concept of mass communication to me, I was actually naive. I didn't know much about it. I just caught the bug of being on television or radio. Oh, wow, that's going to be beautiful to be on television and radio. And I was like, wow, I love to debate. I saw it from that prism. I was naive. My knowledge of broadcasting was limited. But now, having gone into it, you see, there's something we have in this profession. It's called social capital, if you know how to manage it. It's huge social capital. And your network is your network. If you know how to utilize it. I was just thinking to myself yesterday, how many radio stations and television stations the Lord has established through my hands since 2015. And I counted 10.
Amazing.
I started with Lead City FM, owned by Professor G.D. Ohiolei. Then another Lead City FM, because one was educational, one was commercial. 2 radio stations. The year I started, 2015. No, 2016 actually. Then I remember General Arul Buffer, Jordan FM in Abuja, the former chief of staff to Jonathan, established his radio station, both in Abuja and in Lagos. Then I remember Ibadan again. I went, so Ado, Chief Senator Dayo Adeyeye, Voice FM. I did everything from scratch. He was now the chairman of Nigerian Port Authority. Chief Ohiolei, the legal luminary. I met him, established his radio station. I even named it Cruise FM because he was talking about that sounds good. He was singing. I met him in Washington. He was singing that song in the morning. I said, okay, I will use that because this man loves this song. So Cruise FM, New Cruise FM. So and again, somebody just retired from customs, established Midas FM. He was completely. He came to me. Let's do this together, and we did it. Then again, Eagle FM in Ijebu. That's one of my head staff is the general manager, owned by Chief Kunle Kalejayi, SAN. I established it. So, and a number of radio stations like I can't remember. So what I'm saying is that the social capital that I've gotten, then the relevance. When people ask me, why are you working with OHBC? Is that not going to be clash of interest? What clash of interest?
Clash of interest.
That can't be clash of interest. I said, this is not the first time I'll be doing this. OHBC will just be the number 11 that I'm assisting to retool, to rejig, or to reestablish.
All right.
And since I know ab initio that my station is my brand, there is Femi Adefila, and there is Felicia Dane Communications Limited, there is Ravement 1.7 FM, and there's Western Spring Television. I don't confuse the interests of all my businesses. They have distinct interests.
All right.
Once you don't overlap,
you're
good.
You're good. All right. We'd like to go on this break. When we return, we'll talk about, you mentioned proliferation, actually, because some think that's an issue. And of course, press freedom in Nigeria, because we have seen a series of clampdown, especially under this administration, even before now. And by the way, maybe as you stated, you might be getting an invoice from the marketing department because you'll be recounting your consulting powers here on air, and I'm sure
I will pay.
Yeah, they are watching. Without this quick break, you've been watching Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. We're speaking to a range of issues. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Felicia Daniels Communications, owners of Rave 91.7 FM and Western Spring Television, hereby invites the general public to its on-air colloquium titled Between Reforms, Political Courage and Social Impact. Date is Tuesday, November 26, 2024. Time 12 noon to 3 p.m. Panelists include economic historian and lawyer Professor Tunji Ogunyemi, Ibadan High Chief and financial consultant Mogaji Boyega Adejumo, and financial development expert Dr. Paul Alaje. The on-air colloquium is in commemoration of Rave 91.7 FM's 9 years of excellent broadcasting and Western Spring Television's 2 years of changing the narrative of television in the Southwest. The on-air colloquium will be broadcast live simultaneously on Rave 91.7 FM and Western Spring Television Channel 190 DTT on Star Times. Do not miss it.